Today we are going to talk about requirements traceability matrix. And recently I had two interesting conversations. One with my quality assurance team. We were looking for a solution for an ongoing problem that we experience. And one of them said, "Oh, we need to create a requirements traceability matrix." Then I had another discussion with business analyst, almost the same day. Again, the requirements traceability matrix came up, but from my experience, from perspective of project management, in neither cases the RTM was the best tool to use. So I got curious and researched it a bit. I quickly found out that trainings for both quality assurance engineers and for business analysts teach about the requirements traceability matrix, but only partially and from their point of view. The RTM that we project managers use is a different tool that combines the best of two worlds. Okay, the definition of the requirements traceability matrix is really confusing, so I'll put it simply. It's a document that maps requirements with other aspects of a project. It's important to notice that RTM is a powerful project integration tool. It's a connection link between the project objectives, requirements, and scope of work. So don't treat it as a simple tool to organize requirements or test cases. Usually the RTM is a spreadsheet, so for sure you can add or omit some of the columns, but right now we'll review them all, and I'll explain how to use this powerful tool. First of all, we have a unique ID number for a requirement. Optionally, you can decompose requirements into smaller pieces, therefore you may add the associate ID column. In agile terms, you can think about it as epics and features, or features and user stories, or simply as main and sub-requirements. Next, we have a short description of a requirement. Don't put the whole specification here, use a title that explains it. But do keep these descriptions consistent with the verbiage in the specification. Next we have a business need. Again, it should be a short description that justifies the requirements. And don't confuse it with the next column, project objectives. They look the same, but you have just a few of the project objectives, 1, 2, maybe 3, and you can have multitude of business needs and justifications. Okay, I don't find the next column on the RTM's examples I saw on the internet, but I do recommend putting the source or the request of the requirements. In just a minute I'll explain why it's important. Also, for bigger projects, you may want to have not only the name of the person, but also his or her department. Then we have a column for the WBS deliverable. It's just the VBS element number in which the project team will implement the requirement. And usually you fill it in a bit later in the planning process. Next we have links to specifications and visual designs. And last but not least, even in a project management requirements traceability matrix, we need to list related test cases. But I recommend listing the UAT test cases or business validation ones. I don't think that you need to list all functional test cases here. Also, I see many examples where people just put IDs here, but be a modern PM and put links to the test cases or test suites in your test management tool or even a spreadsheet. Okay, this is a minimum viable RTM, however, you can extend it to your needs. You can map these requirements to any other aspect of the project. I often see a status of the requirement and the date of the status change. You can add priority of a requirement, you can list non-functional requirements here as well. You can do release planning here and map releases or sprints. So just be creative. Next we are going to review how to use the requirements traceability matrix, but before that, if you enjoyed the video so far, please give it a thumbs up and subscribe if you haven't already. I'll wait so you can do it right now. Let's move on. So, how do you use all of this information? You don't put it all here just for the sake of having a fancy document. We can analyze it and discover lots of opportunities, risks and conflicts. So first of all, let's imagine a project that has lots of requirements that we collected from different sources, and we have a limited budget. So we'll use the RTM to select the most critical requirements that we need to implement. This way we can get the most from the resources we have and produce a product that clients really need. Or alternatively, we have a product that we continuously develop through several projects. We update the list of requirements all the time. This matrix will help us to form the scope for the next project, for example. That's on the higher level, but we can also get very granular. For example, we need to fill in the business need and justifications for each requirement. Oftentimes, it appears that some requirements don't have any justification, and we therefore remove these requirements because it doesn't bring any value to the product or the users. It helps us to prevent the gold plating. Also, we have to connect a requirement with a specific project objective. This is purely integration on objective level. If something doesn't support a project objective, it shouldn't be a part of that project. With these two columns, we can easily triage project scope. Next, let's review the connection between a requirement and its request or the source. First of all, you can get conflicting requirements. One stakeholder will ask a blue button on a white background, another one a red button on green background. These stakeholders may never meet. They don't know about requirements of each other. So you need to reach out to them and resolve this conflict. Also, you can see who has more authority and which requirement you should follow. But again, we might have a short deadline or small budget, and different stakeholders will put top priority on different requirements. But we can do only one of them. So we can check whether a client or sponsor provided this requirement or it was a technical stakeholder from our side. And at the very least we can initiate negotiations to select one of the requirements. But also its integration on stakeholder level. Different stakeholders have different areas of expertise. So for example, sometimes clients may not know about some technical needs of the project. They don't understand that they need to allocate time and budget for it. So RTM provides transparency for all major stakeholders in different areas of expertise. Then we also have connection between a requirement and a WBS element. From one side, by connecting these dots, you'll ensure that you don't forget to implement some of the requirements. And you do know the saying, what is not in the work breakdown structure is not a part of the project. And on the other hand, there won't be a scope creep. Project team will see that a work package or a deliverable includes a specific set of requirements, so they'll need to ensure that the tangible results that they provide correspond to these requirements. And in addition to that, all stakeholders will know when and what deliverable to wait for to see a certain piece of functionality. Having reference to specifications and designs is convenience first of all, but it also shows you the progress on the requirements definition process, whether you are in a good shape to start a project soon or not. Now, think about having test cases on the same document. First, it shows the coverage. Second, the project team can use these test cases as additional piece of information to ensure that product meets requirements and passes these test cases at once. You'll get less defects in the process. And later, when you are done with requirements definition, the RTM becomes your tool for tracking progress of finishing and getting acceptance from clients on each and every requirement. As you know, it's better to get acceptance during the project rather than at the end of it. By the way, the sponsor of this video is my free career change cheat sheet, because I know firsthand how hard and challenging it is to get your first project management role. This cheat sheet gives you an action plan to get a promotion to a PM in the nearest future. So if you want to become a project manager, you need to get a copy. Link is in the description. It goes without saying that requirements traceability matrix requires a lot of effort. So I would recommend using it on medium and large projects mostly. But also I would recommend to use it even if you have a small team but you plan to develop a product for a prolonged period of time. Okay, if you want to become a project manager, do get your copy of the Career Change cheat sheet for project managers. Link is in the description. Also subscribe if you want to learn more about project management and leadership. Thanks for watching, see you next time.